everybody. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Fly Aunt. I am your favorite auntie. I hope to think so, Ebony Ivory. And today we have a special guest. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself. Introduce yourself to the people.
Thank you, Ebony. My name is Winifred Opari. I'm a mom of 3 boys, married forever. And I'm a realtor out here in Atlanta, and I'm really happy to be here to have these conversations with the Fly Aunt.
Yes, we have Winifred Opari in the house. The Ghana princess, as I like to refer to her, my residential Ghana princess.
Ghana in Nigeria, by the way.
Yes, so we're gonna get into it. I just really quickly want to give a shout out. I have some listeners that are on Spotify that are in Australia and Bahrain. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So to my listeners out there, I want to give you a big Fly Auntie kiss. And also, I just want to thank everybody that's been super supportive, sharing and listening, commenting, liking, and subscribing to the podcast. I really, really appreciate you. So let's get into it. We're going to get to know our guest just a little bit more. So I have a little game that I like to play called Eat, Vibe, and Rejuvenate.
Okay.
So when you are like hungry, and what is like your go-to meal? Like you do the greedy dance, like you do that little shimmy, like, oh, I'm about to get into it. What is the meal of choice?
Girl, that's a big question because I love food, and African meals are always large. Okay, so my go-to is rice and stew.
Okay.
So it could be with fish, it could be with beef or mutton. But these days I like to eat fufu a lot. Fufu with fish light soup.
Okay. And vibe. When your song of choice, like when you get in a car, you like, right. Ooh, I'm going to play this. And we know you have young kids, so I want to hear a song that is not kid related. So get into it. What is your vibe? What is your vibe?
Well, I hope you all know this lady because her name is Jackie. She's a Ghanaian kind of R&B, Afrobeat musician.
Okay.
She's very chill, but it's also danceable. I love that. And I also recently discovered Dax, Dax.
Okay.
He sings a lot about life. He sings about God. He sings about depression, anxiety.
Okay.
And it's really, really fulfilling. So, yeah. So, Jackie and Dax.
Okay, but what song? What's the name of the song, just in case? Because I think I'm going to go listen to that when I leave here.
You need to listen to Dax. So, he has, I'm going to give you 3. He has a song, Dear God. He has Depression. And he has, there's one more, The Abyss.
Okay.
Those are good. And he does rap. He does, he sings as well. So
okay, perfect. Okay, and the final thing is, as we mentioned, right. You're a mom, realtor, super wife. What do you do to rejuvenate?
Okay, so I love the gym. I love to hit the gym. Anybody that's close to me knows that I love the gym. And then I recently added swimming. So I try to swim. Listen, it's very soothing. I go to One Life Fitness. We don't have, we're not affiliated or anything. But I go to One Life Fitness. They have a pool and they have a hot tub. So it's my time to meditate.
Oh, yeah, you can feel it, right? She got the muscles, y'all. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. She got the muscles over here.
Yeah, I love it.
Girl, I got my auntie arms, y'all.
So that is my time to rejuvenate, and it resets like a perfect time. It's early in the morning, like 5 a.m., and it just set off my day, and it's perfect.
Amazing. So that was Eat, Vibe, and Rejuvenate with Winnie Opari. So yes, indeed. So let's get into the episode. Okay. So as mentioned, that she is a Nigerian Ghana princess.
Nice.
So what I want to get into is I'm of Jamaican descent, but I'm born in the U.S. And you are born in?
I was born in Nigeria. I was born in a city called Warri in Delta State.
Okay. So what I want to get into is the differences stereotypes and also the similarities between African American culture and African culture. So we want to put some things to rest. And we also want to open up some conversations about our similarities and our differences. So, correct me if I'm wrong. You came to America in your womanhood when you were when you were an adult.
Yes.
So I just want us to briefly touch on you as a woman coming from Africa and then coming to America. What was, and I want you to be honest, super honest, like straight out, just spit it out, whatever first comes to mind.
You know I am.
Let us know, as far as observing the Black woman in America, what were some of the culture shocks? Give me give me 3 if you can, if you have. Give me 3.
Why you gonna put me on the spot like that? Okay, so observing the Black woman in America. Not just America, but the Black woman specifically.
Correct.
Okay, so first of all, my very first impression was, why are they so angry? No, like seriously. Because where I come from, and most people have this because I was born in Nigeria, I grew up in Ghana. People smile. People are lovely. You know, they see you, they smile and everything. But when I came here, I didn't see that. Like, everybody was angry. Like, I don't want to say angry. Like, nobody was smiling in your face. And like, if you smiled at somebody, it looked like almost like you were stupid. So that was my very first.
And also
it changed though.
Also, to add context, what part of America did you first come to and that had that experience?
I came to New Jersey.
Okay, what part of New Jersey?
Jersey City.
All right, let's smile more in Jersey City. Got it. What's the next one?
Okay, so the next one will be, they actually have kids at an early age. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, because I always say I wish I had my first child when I was like 25 or, you know, I realized that, you know, somebody could be 40 and your first child could be 20. And I love that. I was like, okay. And I'm going to talk about that more because I think that has its perks too. So.
Okay, of course. Absolutely. It definitely does, because I had my first child at 20. So it ain't easy.
It's not.
We're not prescribing that, but I'm just saying it did have its perks now.
Right.
Okay, and give me one more takeaway. Come on, Winnie.
Oh man. My impression of the African American woman. They speak up. They speak up.
We got a win over here.
No, the second one was a win too. Even the first one was a win, but I'm going to elaborate later. But yeah, they speak up. They speak up for themselves. You know, they know their rights. And I guess it also has to do with the culture because the system works and you can speak up if somebody, you know, did bad or whatever. The laws are in place to kind of protect them. I mean, I think. So, yeah.
Great. I appreciate you being open and honest and sharing that. I think it is important that even as Black women, right, that come from opposite ends, that we kind of understand too that these are things that, you know, we need to share and conversate and kind of see, like, see your point of view and you see my point of view. So you came here and you were you came over, you're married, and to your husband. Tell me, you spoke English prior to coming here, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you spoke English prior to coming here. So I want to get into, this is my question and my predisposed stereotypes in regards to what I've heard about African women, right? So my top 2 takeaways, right, is one that is the African woman, she tolerates cheating. She just feels maybe this is just is it ingrained in the culture, so to speak, or she's just accepting of it because that's just a part of the culture? I think another takeaway or stereotype that I have heard is definitely that the African man, he's a straight up provider, and your place is at home with the children. Hard stop. There's no room for anything but to serve and be submissive to him and take care of the home. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But that is just a heavy stereotype that I've heard. So let's talk about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna address the first one.
Okay.
About the cheating. That African women tolerate cheating.
Okay.
So first of all, African women do not tolerate cheating. Because if that was the case, then there would never be any kind of breakups based on somebody cheated. There will never be any, let's talk about when they're married. So when we're married,
that's right.
We're slow to leave because a man cheated. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
But that's because of the culture. Our culture, our mothers, grandmothers, and whatnot, most of them grew up understanding that, a man is going to be a man. And so there are some things that men can do that as women, you have to be nurturing enough to understand, right? I'm not saying everybody, because my mom, she didn't tolerate cheating. My mom didn't tolerate cheating at all. So she raised me by herself because, so I'm going to keep it at that. But generally, our culture kind of sets us up to understand that a man is a man. A man is the head of the house. Mm-hmm. And so let's say a man went in for another woman. You need to kind of understand that happens. However, that's also because Africans are traditionalists, okay?
Okay.
Traditionalists do not more also conform to Christianity. It's Christianity that says a man has to be married to one wife. Traditionalists are allowed, just like Muslims are allowed to have multiple wives. So most of our households, most of the women grew up being married to maybe a chief who has maybe 3 wives, 4 wives. We have Muslims back home too.
Okay.
Who are allowed to have multiple wives. Yes.
So let me interject.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing you say is that there's a couple of different layers to this, right?
Yes.
Because you have you have the religion,
right.
So it can depend on the religion.
Yes.
What they grew up with, because
Absolutely.
I do know that is something in Islam that is heavily discussed, being able to have multiple wives.
Right.
However, there are rules in regards to that.
Right.
And then you have just the cultural aspect,
right.
like being a chief or
right.
Something of that.
Right.
Okay, so but I want to dig in just a little deeper to what your meaning is, because when you say a man is going to be a man,
right?
Go a little deeper in when you say that, and this is subjective, of course. What is it when you say a man is going to be a man? What does that mean to you?
Okay, so first of all, let me put this disclaimer out. I do not tolerate cheating. Okay, I don't. However, I believe that men are wired differently. Women are wired to be more, to have more self-control.
Okay.
Men do not have that much self-control like we do, right?
Okay.
That's how I'm talking about me. This is how I look at it.
Yeah.
So, and I know most people might look at it that way too. Okay. So, I believe a man might be more susceptible to temptation and giving.
Okay.
Compared to a woman.
Okay.
So here's the thing. You're married. Everything is perfect. You've never caught your man cheating or whatnot. One day, out of the blue, you catch him cheating. And you are 100% sure that it's not something that he's been doing consistently. It's a one-time thing. This man is there for you, had your back, done everything, there for the kids, everything. I personally do not think that's enough grounds to leave a man
Okay.
if he made one mistake.
Okay.
Because as women, we can also make that one mistake. So let's say you found yourself in a situation that you probably was vulnerable and you did some things and, you got caught as a woman. You're not going back there. That's not your home. How would you feel if your man left you? Or how would you take it as throwing everything away? Throwing everything away.
That is a very interesting way to put it. I didn't really kind of think about it like that.
Right.
Because I think, like you mentioned, we are wired differently, and as women, we're probably not going to even think that far. Like, oh, what if he just leaves me because I cheated, so to speak. That's a that's an eye-opening point, and I think that's why this conversation is important.
Because women cheat too. Let's not forget that. Women cheat too.
No, we don't.
Women do not cheat. See, you told me to be honest, so I'm being honest. See, we're all human. One person.
Black women do not cheat.
That's what
it does not. I don't care what Winifred Opari is saying as a black Nigerian Ghana princess. Black women, we are virtuous and we do not cheat.
Okay. Black men.
Do you see my halo?
Black men will say that too. But I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying. Sometimes, and as women, and this is stuff that as I grow, I turned 40 recently, and I'm taking a lot of things into consideration and analyzing a lot of things. And as I grow, I understand that we need to give some grace. We need to give ourselves some grace, and need to give the other person also some grace. And to answer your initial question about saying African women are more tolerant, that is probably one of the differences between us and American women.
Okay.
Because an American woman is not going to take a cheating. We're like, okay, hey, you cheated, I'm out. I'm not going to stick around, if you cheated. I think some American women also do stay. Yeah,
absolutely.
But generally, I think you need to give yourself some grace, give the other person some grace, and you need to not lead with your emotions all the time. And I need to take my advice. You need to not lead with your emotions all the time. You need to be also practical and analyze things and see, okay, what's the good and what's the bad? Is the good more than the bad? Make a list. All these things about this man that you think is good about him, that makes you happy. And then make a list of all the bad stuff. If the bad list keeps going and going, okay, it's time.
Right.
But if he has more good than bad, and then who says the next person you're going to meet might not end up making that one mistake? Woo! I'm not saying stay with a serial cheater, because that's going to do something to your, self-esteem. That's going to mess you up. That's going to give you depression. But if you honestly, in your hearts of hearts, no, this is not a serial cheater. My husband loves me, but he slipped one time and he told me. Or I called him and he didn't lie about it. You need to give some grace.
Okay. So we need to extend grace a little further. And we need to be a little more conscious about the decisions, not be so emotional about it. We need to lean into our logical side.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I can accept that. That was good. That was really good. Okay. So now I want to get into this.
Okay.
So you are married. Now, I think this is a big thing. Your husband, he's of African. He's African.
He's full-blooded Ghanaian.
Okay. So, what are some of the differences that you notice between African men and American men?
So that's going to be hard to answer because I've never been with an American man. So
okay. So based on, so say this, right? Okay, you never been with one. I can get with that. just based on just simple observations of maybe what don't include your friends. Maybe you hear what the differences is that they're going through, and you're just like, no, my husband, that is not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So give me two, maybe.
This is going to be a hard one, but let me think about
Okay.
this. So, first thing I'm going to say about African men, and I think a lot of people know this already. Most of them are providers.
And when you say let's dig into the providers.
Excuse me. I need to sip something.
Okay.
I need to sip something right now. Like, okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, let's get into it.
Oh,
You say
I need to
provider?
go-
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Most African men are providers, and that goes back to what I initially said. That's how our culture is, and in our culture, most of the time, the woman is not the one out there hustling. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, that's what we grew up with. It's changed a lot in today's world, but most of the time, the man is the one that's supposed to go out and provide.
Right.
And comparing that to America, I see that in America, most people go by 50-50.
Okay.
So most of the time, even with our friends back home, they'll ask you, oh, I heard in America it's 50-50. So like, hey, I heard everything is 50-50. So is that what you all are doing over there and whatnot? But
And your response is?
my home is not 50-50. My home is 100-100. Because I'm the kind of African woman that loves to go out there and hunt and fend for myself. Okay. There are most African women that are cut out, excuse me, to be housewives that love to keep the home, that have that mentality. Their moms did it, so they also feel like they need to do it.
Right. And that goes back to the culture.
That goes back to the culture.
Yeah, that goes back to the culture.
And so I think the same way a man is going to be a man, and the same way it sticks with them as well. Well, I need to provide. I'm not saying all of African men provide, but I think at least you can pick a good 91% that will not feel bad if they had to provide for their women. But that's not to say y'all need to come chasing our African men. You know what I'm saying? You're like, ooh, you have that big smile on your face. But just saying, so they have that mentality. It's also kind of part of the culture. I know in some parts of Nigeria, it's actually embarrassing if your wife is like hustling. So the men actually don't want that. Like you say, I want to bring you the money so that people can see that I got it.
Right. So it's a sense of pride and joy to say, like, look, I take care of my family. I'm handling my business.
And even in Ghana too.
Okay.
Even some Ghanaian men, they want to take care of the household. They want to make sure that your wife is good, the kids are good. They're seen as the providers.
Right.
So
right.
That's one.
So if there are any Nigerian men or Ghanaian men that is looking to have someone chop the money.
Not chop the money.
Chop the money.
That's not how it works, though.
Instagram, the fly aunt.
She's ready to chop the money.
I'm just kidding.
Listen, don't say you're kidding. Girl, you need to manifest that.
So let's switch gears a little bit, right? Okay, so you're here, you've adjusted, and you're doing your thing.
Right.
You are an awesome real estate individual. You customer service.
Oh.
She's amazing. Super sweet, super passionate.
Thank you.
So let's talk about you getting into real estate here.
Okay.
And we're not so much going to deep dive into like the business part. We're going to talk about like the relationship and you being from another country.
Right.
Because just a little background, a lot of times we often hear in America how people that reside here don't hustle as hard as people that come from other countries.
Right.
And I also want to give some background and for people to also understand that, what the mentality is, it's a little bit different. Like
Right.
sometimes being an American, we often can take for granted
Right.
the opportunities
Right.
that are here that we don't take advantage of.
Right.
But coming from a different country, they may not have those same opportunities or offerings. So for them, it's like we're jumping into it.
Right.
So tell us a little bit why you chose real estate, and then after that, I want you to kind of expand upon you being from another country, trying to network. Was it hard for you in those things?
Is it?
Yes.
'Cause I'm still in the process.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I cannot talk about how I got into real estate without mentioning Robin Shelton. She's an Black American lady out in New Jersey. She's now a broker with Fraser Fame Realty. So she used to work at a leasing office where we lived. And I went to do laundry one day. I had my baby. I had just had my baby in June.
Aww.
And this was somewhere in maybe like August of 2014. And I was so depressed, postpartum depression.
Aww.
I didn't know what to do because one, I came in here, I really didn't have a plan because the idea was to come and leave in 2 years. Because I had my business back home. And so I was like, well, I was just going to come and leave in 2 years.
Okay.
And then I came and had a baby and then I had to stay. And so Robin started talking to me and I told her, hey, I used to do construction and real estate back home. And she said, why don't you get your real estate license? Okay. So fast forward, that's how I got my real estate license in New Jersey. And I really do appreciate her. So shout out to Robin Shelton. And so I got my real estate license. I was in for a shock because, like you said, back home, you know where to go, you know who to go to, to push you on, and you know what to do. And I thought, oh, well, I got my real estate license. I'm just going to start selling houses. It wasn't like that.
Right.
So,
license today, house sold tomorrow.
I'm telling you, it wasn't like that at all. It took me some time. I started working in property management and stuff like that. I am grateful for today because, I could boast that she's my client and I have a few other clients out there. I love what I do. It being hard as far as I didn't go to primary school here. I didn't go to high school here. I didn't go to, because most realtors, they grew up here. They have their whole family system here. I didn't have my immediate family or nobody here. No uncles, no extended family to tell their friends that, hey, our niece is selling houses now. Right. Come and buy.
Absolutely.
So you have to go out there and connect and, just imagine how long is it going to take you to connect with individuals to get one that's trying to buy a house. Mm-hmm. And then if you got those people, it's going to take a certain percentage out of those people to actually go through with the, with the transaction.
Because the process is hard. The process is not easy. Right,
yes.
Right.
If you have 10 clients, 7 of them might fall off and 3 of them might actually qualify. It could be qualification. It could be they change their mind. Your paycheck is in the pocket of the buyer or the seller because they can decide not to move forward at any time.
Right.
So I wouldn't say it's been easy, but I'm very grateful and thankful to God for people like you and people that have been referring a lot of people because my business base is a lot of referral. And that's the way to go because you do a good job. Somebody's going to refer somebody to you. And I can actually say most of my clients are African Americans, not even Africans. Like I work with a lot of African Americans and I'm really happy about that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get too passionate. Did I miss something?
No, you're fine. We love a passionate queen. Okay, so this is something that I want to actually ask you since you mentioned all of that. Mm-hmm. When you decided that you were going to get into realty, was your husband, Michael, shout out to Michael, was Michael supportive and how did that work?
Okay, so Michael, I would say this. I've known Michael forever. Actually, this February is exactly 20 years that we've known each other, dated forever, and then got married in 2012. When he met me, he actually met me when I was on a job. I was working with a fabric company as a salesperson, and that's how we met. And so he's always known me to be a very hardworking person, so he's always been supportive. of whatever I wanted to do. And that really is something that you cannot put a price on, because even though he's African, he understands that the woman should also be able to explore, the woman should also be able to kind of do what they can do, because at the end of the day, everything is coming into the same pool. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
That I believe that's his mindset. I do not think my husband has been insecure or felt like, oh, she needs to sit and watch the babies and I need to go bring my, even though he's a provider as well, but he's open to me exploring and doing whatever, I need to do if it's productive. So, yes, he was supportive. He's
Okay.
been supportive.
Okay, amazing. So let me ask you this. How did Michael feel when you came home with like your first check from a sale?
Girl, that you listen, these African men, they love money. So like he was like, okay, well, this is gonna work. This is not like this is gonna work. And so he kept pumping me up, like, you need to keep going. It hasn't been an easy road. I wouldn't lie to you. Racism, and I know a lot of black realtors, not even African realtors, minority. Let me put minority. I'm not just gonna say black.
Right.
Minority
Okay.
realtors. This is an immigrants realtors. They experience this a lot because most people do not believe in us. But I need to say this here. We all take the same exam. Whatever exam anybody out here is taking for real estate is the same thing everybody takes. And actually I believe that working with a person, you need to see how the person comes through for you. As a realtor, you need to look out for your client. That if I was a buyer or seller, that's what I'm looking for. So whoever is gonna look out for me is who I'm gonna work with. You cannot see somebody off the back or look at their last name and say, oh, they can do a good job, because you do not know the lot of things that, because we go the extra mile to learn and improve and advance ourselves so that we can actually do a better job. So
I love that. Thank you so much for just sharing that.
Of course.
And just kind of like bridging the gap a little bit with
Right.
stereotypes as far as African American and African women.
Right.
I want to just say that I'm happy that we can open up the floor and have this kind of dialogue and just talk about those things. I do have one additional little question
Right.
that I wanna add. So when you came here,
Right.
found work,
Right.
married,
Right.
babies,
Right.
and now you're building your life. And as you said as well, so now, you kind of see the tides are changing. Women are out hustling more and they're getting to, to the money and all of this stuff. And just like social media references, like you may hear other people speaking on their podcast their platforms about, 50-50,
Right.
100-100.
Right.
Let me ask you this. If your husband came to you and was like, look, I want us to start going 50-50, what would you say?
Listen, we've had that conversation. He didn't come to me to say that, but we had mutual friends that we think they do 50-50, right?
Okay.
You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that.
Okay.
And he knows where I stand. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, if that's what I cannot do 50-50. I'm sorry. Then I might as well be alone. Yeah, I'm sorry. And this is not me being a lazy woman or whatnot. I know what I could do. I know what I bring to the table. Like, I'm not the woman sitting, waiting for the husband to pay all the bills. Like, whatever I get, I'm bringing it in to the pool.
Right.
I'm not hiding anything. So I like that dynamics. Like, he also, I believe, whatever he gets, he's bringing it into the pool and we're building together. I think that's what marriage should be. I think it should be a uniform front. And I know a lot of men do not get it. Okay, even our African men, most of them don't get it, even though they provide. I think it should be a united front where you all put all in, Yes, you can have your separate accounts and whatnot, but for the most part, your husband knows what you're getting. Your wife knows what you're getting. And I'll say this: in most African homes, the man doesn't know how much the wife even makes. Yeah.
Yes.
The wife, they don't know what the wife makes. You seem to like that. I need to take you to Africa. They don't know what the wife makes. I do not like that. My husband knows if I do this deal, if I do that deal. And you know what I do? I don't have to disclose anything. He wouldn't even find out. But if I do this deal before I even start, he knows what is going to come in. And then we put everything in a pool. So me having that mindset, a 50-50, whatever, it's not going to work for me. I'm sorry. That don't work for me. It's 100-100.
Well, there you have it. This is what it's all about, having these conversations.
Right.
She's a working woman, of a mother of 3, married, in a relationship for 20 years, and she's letting you know that it's 100-100 over here, and 50-50 doesn't work for her. And this is her coming from, a so to speak traditional and a cultural background. These are her expectations. So, you set the standard and you make it work for you. But as for Winnie, I want to chop the money at 100% as well. So on that note,
I'm not chopping 100%. No.
She don't have to. That's her marriage. But in my marriage, I want to chop the money at 100%.
I'm reasonable.
So we're gonna bring this episode to a close. It was such a pleasure having you on. I'm so glad that we were able to do this. Please, Winifred, let the people know where they can find you.
Okay, so first of all, before I do that, I need to say congratulations on your show. And we met on Bumble because we were all looking for friends. I wasn't there trying to date nobody, trust me. I was just looking
So go back to my singlehood.
Yes, you
all
said
good
it
in
on
singlehood.
there. You said it on there.
This is my friend that I met on Bumble. Yes, on the friend side.
Yeah, so she's been an amazing friend. Her tenacity, she goes for it. She says, I'm going to do this, and she goes for it. So I am imploring all of you to support her in the best ways that you can.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And you can just go on Instagram at Winifred Opari, YouTube, Real Estate with Winifred Opari, but I believe if you type in Winifred Opari, it's going to come up. TikTok, Winifred Opari. I don't think there's a lot of Winifred Oparis out here in America. So.
No, there's only one.
So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And I'm so honored to be here and to be able to share my thoughts and have these conversations with you guys.
Absolutely. So also, please, I want you guys to engage with her, but also engage with myself on all my social media platforms. You can find The Fly Aunt. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Also, we are on podcasting platforms. Just recently, we're on Spreaker, Spreaker. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and lastly, Apple Podcasts. Again, another shout out to my Bahrain, Australian, and my USA listeners. I want to see my Nigerian and Ghana men pop up on my analytics now since we have the Nigerian connection. Wink. And thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And don't forget, Conversations with the Fly Aunt. Till the next episode. We love spirit fingers. You got to get spirit fingers over here. We love spirit fingers. Yeah. Bye-bye.